Hello and welcome back to manvfilm. It's time for another top 10 movies to watch this August, and I have got some great films for you to check out this month. Why wait any longer? Let's just dive straight into them. Number 10, The Dark Raid. A young woman finds herself trapped in a psychiatric hospital after her newborn baby is kidnapped by a cult. Restless and desperate, she must convince the doctor on her case that she didn't imagine the whole thing to cope with stillbirth. No easy feat given that she's been diagnosed with schizophrenia in the past. The Dark Raid is a really interesting horror movie. It's one of those low budget indie movies that's just going to skip by if you don't have someone telling you to go and watch it. I thought it was a great movie, great production values, really surprising in the way it told its story, and highly recommended. It's not one you're going to hear a lot of people talk about. Time to give it a watch. Number 9, High Spirits. When Peter Plutnik's Irish castle turned hotel is about to be repossessed, he decides to spice up the attraction a bit for the Yanks by having his staff pretend to haunt the castle. The trouble begins when a busload of American tourists arrive, along with some real ghosts. High Spirits is one of those rare movies from the 80s that I just love. Peter O'Toole, Steve Guttenberg, Daryl Hannah star in this one. It's a fun kind of romp movie, not to be taken too seriously, some great production values. It's just a fun, entertaining film. Number 8, First Love. Leo is a young boxer, successful but unable to show emotion. He has a fight scheduled and is sure that he'll win. Instead, he gets knocked out, and this triggers a chain of unpleasant events involving drugs, corrupt cops, the Yakuza, a female assassin, and Monica, an escort that he must rescue. It's one hell of a night for Leo. Directed by Takashi Miike, this is one of those movies that just ticks the boxes of things that I like. Set over one night, things get increasingly crazier as it goes on. There is some laugh out loud black humour moments in this movie that have to be rewound and watched again because it's just so unbelievably shocking. Highly entertaining, incredibly unique, and just fun. Number 7, Phone Booth. Stu Shepard is a fast-talking and wisecracking New York City publicist who gets out of trouble and lies with his clever charm, connections, and charisma. Stu's greatest lie is to his wife Kelly, who he is cheating on with his girlfriend Pam. Upon answering a call in a phone booth, Stu is caught in the line of a dangerous and intelligent psychopath who wants to play a game. Colin Farrell stars, Joel Schumacher directs. It sounds like a silly premise, but man is this highly watchable. Forrest Whitaker stars as a police officer trying to figure out what's going on, but Colin Farrell is the star of this movie. It's his performance of a man put under extreme pressure and breaking, having to face some home truths. It's incredibly pulpy in genre, and it's the type of movie that I just love. Number 6, Only Lovers Left Alive. An underground musician, deeply depressed by the direction of human activities, reunites with his resilient and enigmatic lover. Their love story has already endured several centuries at least, but their debauched life is soon disrupted by her wild and uncontrollable younger sister. Can these wise but fragile outsiders continue to survive as the modern world collapses around them? Jim Jarmusch's take on a vampire tale is wonderfully compelling. Tilda Swinton stars along with Tom Hiddleston, and this is one of those movies that just kind of lulls you in with its kind of sedateness that it has. Not to say that it's slow, it's just measured. It knows exactly what it wants to do, and it pulls you along on the journey that it has. Looks wonderful, has incredible style, and is a movie worth experiencing. Number 5, Snatch. Unscrupulous boxing promoters, violent bookmakers, a Russian gangster, incompetent amateur robbers, and a supposedly Jewish jeweller fight to track down a priceless stolen diamond. Guy Ritchie's follow-up to Lock, Stock was Snatch, a movie that starred everybody. Just everybody in the world starred in this movie. It's incredibly fun. It's one of those ones that takes you on a sort of heist feeling as you have all these different moving parts that at one point in the movie are going to interconnect somehow, but each character has their own dynamic, their own storyline that you're with for their journey. It's incredibly fun, entertaining, and just has this kind of raw energy that drives it forward. Number 4, Rear Window. Photographer L.B. Jeffries breaks his leg while getting an action shot at a race. Confined to his New York apartment, he spends his time looking out of the rear window. Observing the neighbours, he begins to suspect that a man across the courtyard may have murdered his wife. Jeff enlists the help of his high society fashion consultant girlfriend Lisa and his visiting nurse Stella to help. Rear Window is a masterpiece, and if this was a top 10 list of the best movies ever, Rear Window would probably be number 1. I'm sure it's a movie that you've probably heard of. If it's something that you've never experienced, sit down and buckle in, because you're in for a fantastic thrill ride as we follow wonderful characters, a grander story, and some deep themes that can connect to everybody. This is a masterpiece of a movie. Number 3, Guns Akimbo. When Miles Lee Harris, a computer programmer, finds out that his hands have been bloodily bolted with guns, he must use them to his own advantage to save his ex-girlfriend from a group of kidnappers along with an evil criminal organisation named Schism. Daniel Radcliffe does his best yet again to try and shake the Harry Potter stink from all over him as he tries to jump into this comedic action movie. This rather fun, incredibly silly, has a ridiculous premise, but because of Radcliffe's delivery of lines, the action set pieces, it just creates a fun escape from reality for 90 minutes. Number 2, Jolt. A bouncer with a slightly murderous anger management problem that she controls with the help of an electric lined vest she uses to shock herself back into normalcy whenever she gets homicidal, falls for a man surprisingly, and after he is murdered, she goes on a revenge-fueled rampage to find the killer and get her bloody revenge. Kate Beckinsale stars in this movie as our main character, someone who's just there to kick ass and look great while they're doing it. And there's plenty of action set pieces in this that are incredibly fun. Kate Beckinsale's character is interesting enough. It's one of those movies that you're ultimately going to forget as soon as it finishes, but while it's on, it's entertaining and it's fun. Number 1, The Tomorrow War. The world is stunned when a group of time travellers arrive from the year 2051 to deliver an urgent message. 30 years in the future, mankind is losing a global war against a deadly alien species. The only hope for survival is for soldiers and civilians from the present to be transported to the future and to join the fight. Chris Pratt stars in this really enjoyable, really fun science fiction adventure. Great creatures design, wonderful action set pieces, and is it derivative? Yes. Is it original? Hardly. It's the kind of movie that you've seen before, but there's just such an energy and a fun sense about it that I couldn't help but just enjoy the hell out of this one. I can't wait to go back and see it again. I'd love to see more further adventures in this world. It's just such a smile-inducing action blockbuster, the kind of thing we've been missing. So there we have it, 10 fantastic movies for you to check this August. I hope you find something there that you really enjoy, something that really sparks some interest in you. Have I missed a movie off this list? Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.